Hello, Set Apart Saints. This is David. In this video, I'm going to show you some new Revelation fulfillment summary studies that I created. If you've been watching this video series, you know that we're in the middle of the Revelation fulfillment summary timeline. If you have not printed that up, there's a link in the video description. You can print it up. It shows the 4 chronological layers of Revelation, which span from when it was written until Messiah returns, so you can see the whole vision. On the bottom of the chart are the significant years of 313, 476, 538, 1514, and 1798. And right now we're at 1514, and I just covered that in a previous video. So just a recap, 313 is when the persecutions of the Roman Empire were stopped, when Satan caused Constantine to create the false religion of Romanism to seek to destroy Messiah's ecclesia of saints from within. 476 is when the last Western Roman emperor was removed from power during the Fourth Trumpet Judgment. This was the deadly head wound as the office of the Western Roman emperor ceased to exist. The Western Roman emperor was the restrainer that the Apostle Paul talked about in 2 Thessalonians 2. With him removed, the son of perdition popes were able to take power. The pagan Roman Empire split into 10 civil kingdoms, the 10 horns of the fourth beast in Daniel 7, the 10 horns in Revelation 13, who gave their authority to the Antichrist beast popes, who rose to power over a sea of people. In Revelation 12, the crowns are on 7 heads, the 7 forms of government of the pagan Roman Empire. This is the 7 kings of Revelation 17:10. The 8th king of Revelation 17:11 is the popes of Rome who rose to power after the Roman Empire fell. 538 AD is when the popes of Rome were given civil and ecclesiastic authority. Revelation 13 says that they rose to power out of a sea of people, out of the 10 kingdoms of the fallen Roman Empire. And the crowns are now on the 10 horns in Revelation 13 as the 10 kingdoms gave their power to the popes. The popes took the former title of the emperors, Pontifex Maximus, the leader of church and state, and the deadly head wound was healed. The popes ascended in power over the next 5 centuries, and the saints testified against them, as they taught a false gospel message of works through the sacraments and a false intercessor in Mary. The popes responded by banning and burning the scriptures and persecuting the saints during the Dark Ages. They were so relentless that by 1514 AD, the witness against the Antichrist beast popes, the scriptures and the saints, had almost been wiped out. They were as good as dead. So on the timeline, we're at the year 1514, a turning point when the little book of Revelation 10, the printed Bible, has been given to the saints so that they can rightly determine that the Roman Catholic Church is an apostate church, and the office of the papacy fulfills prophecy as the little horn of Daniel 7, the son of perdition of 2 Thessalonians 2, and the Antichrist beast who leads the harlot church of Rome. So I've tried to give you the big picture of prophecy fulfillment in early videos in the series, and now I want to help you see the big picture even better with these studies that I've created. So now I'm going to show you my website. So this is on Revelation Timeline Decoded website, and on the pull down menu you can pull up the summary studies. And all this is linked. I'll put a link to this in the video description. So right here you can see this is the timeline chart, and I know you can't read it, but here's a regular image that you can use and print for yourself if you want to print a larger image, high res. Here's a 6 meg file, and then here's a really large file for 24 by 18 or even larger that you can print at FedEx. That's the Revelation chart that shows this 4 layers right there of the fulfillment of Revelation. And I explained this on another video. What I want to show you is that there are summary studies here for you. So you'll see these summary studies, and these are sweeping overviews. So Revelation Fulfillment Summary, here's the web page, and then here's a PDF of it. And it's just going to give you an overview summary of Daniel and the fulfillment of Revelation. The next one is Bible Prophecy Made Easy web page and PDF. Takes the same information as this one, but expands on it, gives a little bit more explanation. Below that are summary studies that show you how Revelation points to Rome. So here's one. Here's a study that's about how prophecy points to the leaders of the Roman beast kingdom. So it's pointing to the emperors, the Antichrist beast popes, and the false prophet Jesuit superior generals. And here's a link to a 1-page PDF that shows you how the popes of Rome fulfill Bible prophecy. And here's a 1-page PDF that shows the Revelation Roman beast kingdom leaders. So 2 separate studies just summarizing the fulfillment of Revelation. So these are things that you can save the PDF file on your computer. You're welcome to print them. You're welcome to share them. just tools to help you get the big picture and to help others see the fulfillment of Revelation. Next is a study about how prophecy points to the Roman Catholic Church. And then here's a one-page PDF of the same thing that summarizes it, that again you can share especially with Catholics, but share with everyone so they can see how that's the harlot church of Revelation 17. Next, you see one-page summaries continue on. Here's a one-page summary of the prophetic chapters of Revelation. So it's going to go through all the different chapters of Revelation and just give you a summary. So it's just a different way to help you see the fulfillment. So that's been updated. I just updated it. Next is a one-page summary of the 7 church eras of Revelation. So one of the layers is the church eras, which is declared in Revelation 2-3. Well, there are 7 church eras which span from the 1st century until Messiah returns, and this gives you a summary of what Messiah said to them. He was giving them advice, he was admonishing them, and he was giving them information to help them be an overcomer. Next is a new one that I just created that is a one-page PDF summary of the 4 chronological layers of Revelation. So you have the chart, you can print that out, but here's a summary that's going to show you the 4 layers. So it's going to show you the Roman beast kingdom layer, it's going to show you the 7 church era layer, it's going to show you the layer with the seals, trumpets, and bowls, and then it'll show you the layer of Revelation 17-19. And last, here's a brand new one that I just created, a one-page summary of how the futuristic prophecy explanation spread. Here's the thing. I can sit there and show people how the 7th week of Daniel was fulfilled. I can show them the fulfillment of Revelation. And they can nod their head and they go, yeah, that seems to make sense. But then reality hits them. And they're like, well, but wait a minute, right? My pastor and Chuck Swindoll and David Jeremiah and John MacArthur and Left Behind and all these videos, movies, obviously their personal pastors, their family, whatever. All these people have shared the false futuristic explanations to them. And they're like, so everybody over here is saying this, but you're over here saying this. How is that even possible that, you're the one who knows truth or whatever? And what they're not getting is that it's only during the last century or two that the futuristic explanations have come in. So I put together this one-page sheet that helps them see what was taking place, how the popes of Rome rose to power, how the saints protested against them, how the saints were persecuted by the popes of Rome, the scriptures were banned and burned, the saints were persecuted, led through the dark ages to a really bad time for the saints. And that led up to where we're at actually on the fulfillment, when the scriptures are being put in the saints' hands. And it leads to the Protestant Reformation. But, and then the Protestant Reformers all proclaimed that the popes of Rome fulfill Bible prophecy as the little horn of Daniel 7, the son of perdition of 2 Thessalonians 2, the Antichrist beast of Revelation, who leads the harlot church of Rome. So they all proclaimed it. So what happened is that the Jesuits were empowered by the popes to counter the Reformation, and part of that was creating false futuristic prophecy fulfillment explanations. So that summary helps you see how it went from the Jesuits in the 16th century, moved forward through different people, through the Scofield Reference Bible, through Dallas Theological Seminary, so you can see how the leaven of the Jesuits' deceptions spread throughout the world. So that now most everyone is believing the false explanations, and the enemy has hidden the historical explanations and the witness of the saints. So that's just a summary study. I'll post links to this page in the video description. I'll continue my narrative with the 2 witnesses. That's up next. So we're at that turning point, and we're at that point where we're going into the Protestant Reformation and the church coming back to life. So I just really wanted to focus on that, help you see these tools that you have. It's going to help you. It's going to edify you to help you see the fulfillment, because I realize that these explanations are so contrary to what our pastors have taught us. I get it. I get that the futuristic deceptions make it difficult for us to see the historical fulfillment because they cloud our minds. They've been programmed into our minds through repetition, and that's from the enemy. So I really just wanted to give you a big picture, give you tools. Hope that helps you out. In the next video, I'm going to do 2 videos about the 2 witnesses of Revelation, because it's a lot of information. So hope that helps you out. I love y'all. Shalom.